Welcome to the Sacred Division. And now, here is your host, Bishop James Long.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome right back to the Sacred Division on this fantastic day of February the 11th. I can't believe it's already February the 11th. It is the craziest. It's going so fast. It was like New Year's was just the other day, and now all of a sudden now we have February the 11th. It is the craziest thing in the world. Bishop James Long with you right here on this fantastic, wonderful day. And of course, I have
and now your special
wait. What is this noise coming in? Unbelievable. Miss Wilma can't hear this because she can't hear the music. But now we have her entrance music. Unbelievable. Okay, well, everybody, hello, Miss Wilma.
Hi, everyone. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight.
Miss Wilma is hurting a little bit right now, so if you can probably hear it in her voice. She had a little physical therapy done on her shoulder, and she is hurting. It is hurting, but she still came and wanted to make sure she comes and talks to all of you guys because she promised that she would. So, Miss Wilma, you are a trooper for being here.
Well, thank you. I try to keep all my promises, what I can do, you know.
Right.
But I am asking for prayers for my shoulder because I can't use my arm very good, and it is in severe pain right now. So, thank you for, your prayers.
Yeah, she needs her prayers, everybody, because she's just, I tell you what it was. Here's what it is, okay? She was out partying last night, and because she was out partying and dancing, she started dancing on a table, and I told her, I said, Wilma, get off the table. Get off of the table. And wouldn't you know it, she fell. And that's what really happened. That is absolutely 100% what happened. Isn't that right, Wilma? You don't even know what I just said. I said that the reason is your shoulder is hurting because you were dancing on the table and you fell off. And then you just said yes.
I really in pain here. I didn't get that.
You just said yes. So, bam, that was it. That was it. Wilma just said it. Yes. Can you imagine? Could you imagine?
Okay, I am in pain here, and I understand. I don't dance on the table. I mean, I dance on the floor, which I was able to.
Could you imagine? Yes, could you imagine Wilma dancing on the table? I know, and getting down and rocking it, and you fell off the table. Unbelievable. And she said yes. She said yes, everybody. So she can't take that back.
My door. Hold on.
Uh-oh, I'll
be right back, everyone.
All right. So she's going to get something. I don't know what she's going to get. Probably her board to knock me over my head with it. I don't know what it is. But, poor Miss Wilma, she doesn't do very well with pain. Her pain tolerance it hurts. Her shoulder does legitimately hurt. And she can't see a specialist until 2 months from now. Isn't that so stupid? Now, you guys, I know you guys out there, I think that's really, really ridiculous. She can't see a specialist actually until April. So really, it's 3 months. Now, that's just not right. That is not right. I understand doctors are busy. I get all that. But, I mean, by the time she sees the doctor, shoot, she could have 3 or 4 elbows growing out of that one elbow. I mean, who knows what could happen for 3 months from almost 2. I get specialists. I understand they're specialists, and I understand they're busy. Okay, I get it. But it just makes me mad that they're trying to tell her that she can't go until April. Shame on them. They can squeeze her in, and they should, because she's hurt. And I guess everybody else is hurt. I understand that, but I mean, it's not like they're in California. The doctors, it's not like they have, millions and millions and millions of people banging down their door. I mean, California is huge, or Texas. So I think these doctors could at least give her some, a little bump in the schedule. Oh, no, we're in Kentucky. We're so busy. We can't. Oh, please give me a break. And see, these doctors, and I like them. I like doctors. I have good doctors. But sometimes the doctors don't put the patients first. Sometimes the doctors put the money first. And that's not right. That's not right. So hopefully Miss Wilma will be seen before April. So, Miss Wilma, are you back?
Yeah, sorry about that. They brought my medicine to me.
Oh, good, excellent. Yeah, I was going on a rampage about how ridiculous it is that they're not going to let you see a doctor until April, a bone doctor.
I know it.
That's just
like my doctor's like, well, if you get too bad, go to the emergency room. I don't want to go to the emergency room.
No.
Because the flu is so bad out there, it scares me. And my immune system is not at its best.
Okay, Deborah says she had to wait for 3 months before I was seen at the University of Chicago. That is insane, Deborah. So, Deborah,
what happened to Deborah? I'm sorry.
I don't know if she wants to say. Deborah, can you tell us a little bit about why it took 3 months? She's writing in the chat. She's in the chat room. For those folks who are listening to this live, you can go to Spreaker.com/Bishop James Long, and you can participate and chat with us. If you're listening to the show on podcast later on, then you can kind of look at the chats. That's how you can look at the chats there. So Spreaker, SPREAKER.com/Bishop James Long, all one word. And then, of course, you can see the actual chats that we're doing on the live show. We do the live show Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so if you can catch us at 4, that's great. So, yeah, Deborah, she says she had to wait 3 months before she was seen at the University of Chicago. I don't know exactly what it was, but if she wants to share that's great. And if she does share it, then I will post what it was. But really, 3 months, I mean, but in 3 months, you could have 4 shoulders growing in your body. I mean, by that time, it's just crazy. Oh, her gallbladder. Oh, my God. Deborah says her gallbladder blew up and ruined her bile ducts. Wait. So you're telling me that it took them 3 months to see you? That's an emergency. That's an emergency.
Is she okay now?
Well, yeah, I think Deborah, are you okay? She had to see she had to see a transplant surgeon to make me new bile ducts. She says, "Wow, my God, Deborah."
Oh my stars, honey, you are definitely in my prayers, Deborah. I'm sorry you went through all that.
Man, that is right. In 3 months. Now that I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yes,
that's ridiculous.
April the 8th. That's just like me. I'm like, I guess I'm just take my pills and go to sleep, which I do. I sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Afternoons, because when I get so severe hurting, I get sick, and then I'm like, I don't hydrate.
Right.
So I take my medicine. Just okay, heck with it. I've got to go to bed.
And it's
I can tolerate so much pain, but not this.
Deborah says it took so long to figure out what exactly was wrong. Gotcha. Well, and hello there, Diane, and welcome to the show as well. And welcome. There's other folks who are listening to the show on other platforms, and howdy to you guys. And so we want to thank Miss Wilma. Miss Wilma's not feeling very good. Her shoulder, she just done something to her shoulder, and she just got finished with physical therapy. And you guys know as well as I do, sometimes the physical therapists they're good, but sometimes they can hurt. I mean, they can hurt. I know when I injured my shoulder when I played football and I needed surgery, I had to go through physical therapy, and they were banging the heck out of my shoulders. Like, dude, it's not a jackhammer. What are you using over there? Are you plugging in a jackhammer on my shoulder? I mean, it was like, well, because they wanted me to get back into the football season. They wanted me to get back. I was like, you're out of your mind. Yeah, she is.
Well,
Diane said you sound like you're in pain.
But I'm upset with my quarter.
Your what?
I am upset with my quarter.
You're upset with your quarter.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm still upset with my quarter. That wasn't very nice.
Okay. What do you...
Why did the quarter roll down the hill with the nickel? Because it had more sense. Now that quarter, that's rude to say it. Tell that poor nickel that he had more sense and roll down the hill with him. That was a little rude.
Okay.
Did it, the quarter? Why didn't the quarter roll down the hill with the nickel? Because he had more sense. Get it? He had more sense than the nickel. Oh, shoot, my shoulder hurts. I'm laughing. I got it worse.
That's what you get. That's what you get for making up a horrible joke. I mean, that was
not horrible.
Terrible.
That quarter was just being mean to that nickel.
Oh, that was...
He should have rode down the hill with him. He didn't let it go because he had more sense. Well-ba-dee-da.
Oh, by the way, Deborah says that she has missed Miss Wilma.
Oh,
yeah,
that means a lot to me, sweetheart.
You have some fans out there. Well, you have some people out there who
you
are
like my
friends.
jokes?
No, I'll tell you.
I like my jokes. Just tell me you need more.
They love your jokes, but please, everyone, for the sake of my sanity, let's not convince her. Let's not convince her to do more, please, because if you do, that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to do more drinking. Okay, more drinking. That's what I'll have to do.
Well, I do know this.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm going to use 5 nickels. Don't even want to look at that quarter. He hurt that nickel's feelings. Didn't want to roll down the hill with a nickel. How rude. Oh, my shoulder. It hurts to have a laugh. Oh, but hey, I'm trying. Giving it all I got.
You're giving it... That's the truth. You're giving it all you got, and you are doing the best job that you can with the worst possible jokes on earth. I mean...
Why did the cow go to the bank?
Oh no! I'm so afraid to answer. Well, okay. Why did the cow
go? To get some moolah. Get it? Moolah. Baked, muddy. Pretty cute. Can you imagine a cow go walking into a bank and say, "Hey, I need some moolah." Oh.
You know.
This is not working. I'm trying to get my mind off the shoulder, but it's not working.
Oh, that is terrible.
You ever see a cow go in the bank?
What? Okay. Who?
Huh?
A cowboy going to a bank.
Did you ever see a cow going into a bank?
No.
Because oh, okay. I missed that one myself. I wish I knew where he went. I would have loved to see that. So we can get some...
Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you guys, this is... Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Producer. I appreciate that soundbite. Oh, man. See,
what's going on? You said thank you.
Yeah, but see, the thing is you can't... The great thing about doing this show is, unfortunately, Miss Wilma cannot hear... and I'm going to try to fix that. Miss Wilma cannot hear the sound bites that are playing, the sound effects that are playing while she is talking and telling her jokes. I do need to find a way to fix that, because then you can hear how many times I have poured a drink in my glass after each of these jokes that you tell. And I need a lot of drink. And I don't even drink. That's the sad part about it. I don't.
Did you say you had to get to... Yeah. You had to get what?
I had to get what?
You said you had to get what?
I have to get something, a device.
Well,
Well,
what's the device? What was the device?
what it is, it helps, it lets you hear what I am playing. And so I've got to get that device so then I can use that, and then you can actually hear all the little things that I'm playing after you tell these horrible jokes.
Well, what was it that you said though? That what was the name of the device?
The device, it's a little device that you plug in, and then you plug that in back to the computer, and then you can actually hear then what I am playing while you're telling your joke.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to talk to Bishop David about how I can do that. So I'm going to work on that, everybody, because I definitely want Miss Wilma, to hear what I'm playing, because, well, I mean, if she's going to,
not like it. What are you going to do if I don't like it?
I think you're going to love it. No, by the way, Miss Wilma, guess what?
Yes. What?
Uh-oh. What you can't hear right now is there is royal music playing in the background. Yes, everybody, it's royalty. Royalty music. And let me just turn this down.
Royalty.
Yes. Now, hopefully everybody can hear me while I'm playing this wonderful, wonderful music in the background. You guys can hear me, right? Is the music too loud? Because I want to make sure that you can hear me as well as hear this wonderful music. It's very important because, let me turn this down just a little bit. In the news, Her Majesty is going to be visiting a country very soon. And an article says, ladies and gentlemen, no hat. Ladies, if you're meeting the Queen, no hats after 6:30 p.m. And gentlemen, loosen the grip of that handshake. The Queen is coming to Canada, and there are few things one should know to avoid making a royal fuss. A sampling, don't ask the Queen personal questions and wait for her to strike up a conversation. A ditto for handshaking. Adhere to address her initially as Your Majesty. And afterwards, ma'am is the word. Now, there are no rules that you have to really be super concerned about, says Florence Hassine, Chief of Protocol of Nova Scotia, the first stop on a 9-day Canadian tour by the Queen. Now, there are guidelines for you to feel comfortable. So that may be so, but it has stopped the media from salivating over public snaffus and skewer offenders, particularly celebrities and politicians who do not curtsy in front of Her Royal Highness. So, therefore, if you are going to meet Her Majesty, you are to curtsy and say, Your Majesty. If you are a man, if you are a man, you are to bow and say, Your Majesty. So, Wilma, now you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean?
She's not my queen. I ain't going to say bow down to her. I'll just say howdy.
You can't say how. You can't say howdy.
I'll say howdy, get on my way. I want to see my baby William.
Wilma, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to curtsy and say Your Majesty as you bow your head to the Queen.
Yeah, right. That's going to happen. She's not my queen, and there will not be no bowing. I'll just wave my hand up like, okay, whatever.
Wow. So you're really serious about this, huh?
Now, if I go over there,
yeah,
that's her country. If I went over there, yeah, now, I'd probably nod my head a little bit at her. But as far as bowing, no, she's not my queen. No.
So, well, who is your queen then?
I don't have a queen.
Oh, well, la-ti-da. I mean, I tell you what. Well, she is Queen Mother. And so hopefully you'll understand that. That's what you're supposed to do. And this is not my rules. These are not my rules. These are the rules of etiquette. Okay? Okay. Believe me, Miss Wilma
I
has...
don't think So
She has a lot to say about that. A lot to say about that. She's not a big fan of.
she comes over here and wants us to bow down to her when we're like, okay, I don't get it because you're not queen over here. You're in our country now. United States. You're not our queen. Why do we even want to think about bowing down to her? I mean, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but it's true. You know.
That's right. I mean, she's not our queen. You're right. We don't have queens. We don't have royalty here. Or actually, now royalty these days are people who are celebrities who think that they're, that they have the mouthpiece and they can preach to us about how we should live our lives these days. They're like, oh, give me a break. Listen to this.
We have royalty here. You didn't know that?
We have royalty.
Yeah. You did not know that? For real?
Who's royalty?
I'm Queen Wilma over Bishop Long. You do as I command.
Hold on there. Hold on there, Mr. Producer. Hold on, Mr. Wait a minute. What? Okay. So you are my queen. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
That's another drink. That's another drink. I'm telling you guys, I don't drink. It's every time. Every time. Father Thomas says, I understand bowing before an office. However, I am an American, and bowing to the Queen of England is not required according to law, but maybe etiquette. I do bow before my bishops, and then he's giving 2 reasons. But yeah, I mean, of course, now Miss Wilma thinks that she's my queen. But listen to this, then, Miss Wilma, Queen Wilma.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're right. And when
we
you're right,
get
you're
off
right.
the air, are you going to
you're
bring me
always
something
right.
to drink?
Yes, I will give you something to drink, and it starts with Jim and ends with Beam. Lots of it, because I'll tell you. Yes, and so. All right, now listen to these stories, guys, because we have lots to talk about. And this is a true story. The most devastating plague of locust in recent history could come within weeks. The United Nations warns. Get this. At a glance, the desert locusts in this arid patch of northern Somalia look less ominous than a billion-member swarms infesting East Africa in the worst outbreak some places have seen in 70 years. In 70 years. This is Associated Press here. But the time will come. Small and wingless, the hopping young locusts are the next wave in the outbreak that threatened more than 10 million people across the region with severe hunger crisis. And they are growing up in one of the most inaccessible places on the planet. Large parts of Somalia south of this semi-autonomous Puntland region are under threat or held by the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab extremist group. That makes it difficult or impossible to conduct the aerial spraying of the locust that experts say is the only really effective control. Why? Because we can't spray because it's held by terrorists. That region is held by terrorists, controlled by terrorists. Somalia has declared the outbreak a national emergency across the region. It has the potential to be the most devastating plague of locusts in any of our living memories if we don't reduce the problem faster than we're doing at the moment. You know, it wasn't that long ago, Miss Wilma. It wasn't that long that in Las Vegas, they had a massive amount of locusts. I mean, my dad was there, actually. He was vacationing. And he said it was so bad that you really could not see 2 feet in front of you. It was just, they were swarming everywhere. There were so many there. It looked like a black screen was in front of you because there were so many in certain regions. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's heavy stuff. That is really.
They are coming back.
Well,
Or
they had huge amount of locusts in Las Vegas not too long ago. Huge amount of locust, and now this is in Africa that there's a tremendous amount as well. So it's really crazy. It's just and get this. So this was from Mirror Online of the World News. A biblical plague of bats forces town into lockdown, leaving locals afraid to leave homes. And this is in Australia. So thousands of bats have taken over a town with residents afraid to even leave their home or take their children to school. They call it the bat tornado was so intense that the local hospital's air ambulance was grounded as they made it impossible to fly. The flying animals have taken over the town of Ingham in North Queensland, but they are protected species, so very little can be done about it. The mayor actually told News Magazine Show a current affair. It just seems to me that every bat in Australia is now an Ingham. There's 4 different species, and because they all have young at different times, there's hardly a window of opportunity when we can interact with these bats to try to move them on. And outspoken local politician Bob Catter told the program if it was up to him, he'd be down here with the shotgun. He said, there comes a point where I think not breaking the law really becomes dodging it. This is crazy that that so many of these towns are being hit with all these creatures.
yeah, I didn't hear all that. Wow.
Deborah says, sorry, but her dogger, I like that, her grand dog decided to eat a cardboard box. So her grand dog is in timeout. Yeah, that's
so hard.
and
That's okay.
yeah, Father Thomas, I see that about reinforcing humility, and also remind my bishop that I'm relying on them to provide guidance. One of the thing about the church, when I was studying in the Roman Catholic priesthood, I always respected the office of the episcopacy, the bishops. Now, there are some bishops that have no business at all being bishops, and they just ruin the respect and honor that should come with that office. But unfortunately, we just can't, there are so many that just see that purple power. In other words, they just have to have that power. They think that being a bishop means you're going to have power over people and all this other nonsense, and it's just the opposite. It is literally just the opposite. If you're a bishop of the church and if you're doing it right, then the very first thing that you need to understand is being a bishop means you're going to be a servant. And if you don't get that first, then you have no business being a bishop at all. Deborah says we took her grand dog. We took her when my son left for Afghanistan. Gotcha. Well, that was nice that you at least you have your grand dog, and you're taking care of him or her. It's interesting. Oh, she is in timeout, so it's a female. I don't consider animals, like when I had Kylie and even Fuzzy, I never saw them as dogs. They were my kids. I mean, they were my kids. And so, they're the closest to children I'll ever have. And so, obviously, when she passed, it was very devastating. But for me, I understand. I understand when people say grand dog or my little fur baby. To me, I just don't see it as a dog. That's why I don't understand people having a dog and just throwing them in the backyard and never interacting with them. Because dogs are very social beings. They're social by nature. And to just isolate them and just throw them in the backyard and have nothing to do with them, that really is, that's not within their nature. They're craving attention. They're craving interaction, just like human beings do, because we are social beings as well. What's that, Wilma?
I'm sorry. There's this woman on the talk show, and her husband was holding a dog, and she said, "I'm here to tell everybody we are no longer going to call our animals pets. They're not our pets. They're our companions." And everybody's like, wait a minute. You're trying to get the whole world to stop calling them pets? She said, yes. I don't want, they're not pets, they're our companion. And a lot of people didn't like that. They're like, hey, wait a minute, you can't come and tell the world, you're going to be the one who wants to change it. And she said, well, my dog is not a pet. It defends them when they hear that word. And they're our companion, not pets. And I thought, oh, my stars.
Yeah, because, really, when you start talking about pets, it's ownership, and people can think they can do whatever they want to animals and treat them whatever they want. And so it's like, no, you can't, because they are living beings, and they have a right to be treated with love and compassion and care. And, honest to God,
yes.
And this is the truth. And I don't mind saying this, but this is the truth. All my life, when I went into all my life, really, I've always had dogs. And when I went to the seminary, I was so busy with study that I didn't have any time for any. We weren't allowed to have pets anyway. But I was just so. We weren't, because we lived in a dorm and we weren't allowed to, and because we were so busy. We were really, really busy from sun up to sundown, studying, going to church, going to night prayer, it was just busy. And so, but when I left the seminary and joined the Old Catholic Church, that's when I had a dog again. And honestly, when people would tell me that, they're depressed or they're lonely or that they are, they feel loneliness, I never really understood that. Because all of my life, I've always had a dog, and I've always either been so busy that I haven't had time to even think of a loneliness. But after Kylie passed away, really for the first time in my life, and I know it sounds crazy, but for the first time in my life, I now understand what loneliness feels like. Because when I had her, my life, literally, she was the center of my life. My life was all about Kylie. Everything, no matter what I do, and it was frustrating at times because I couldn't do things that I wanted to do. I had made a lot of sacrifice. I made a lot of sacrifices. But that's what you do when you have a little fur baby. And so for me, I didn't quite understand loneliness until the moment when Kylie passed away. And then it's like, yeah, I get it. I definitely get it now, because she was such a great companion. She was, no matter what kind of day I had, whether it was good or bad, or I was stressed or whatever, she was always there just to kind of say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm the queen. She was the real queen. The real over Miss Wilma. Miss Wilma thinks she's the queen, but Kylie was the queen. Okay. But she was so much, and Wilma even said that she was so much company, and she was, because she just had that interaction. She was a very special dog. So someone asked me the other day, would I ever get another companion fur dog? And really, honestly, probably not anytime soon. Because number one, I've got other health issues that I've got to deal with, especially my migraines and other issues that I'm dealing with. And so right now, at this very moment, no, it's not the time. It's not the time. But if the good Lord says, hey, James, there's a dog over here that is homeless, or that is hungry, or afraid, or has been beaten, or has something like that, if I know that somehow, some way, Kylie is kind of saying, hey, look, take care of this little fur baby over here, then I'd be open to it. But it would have to be something along those natures. It would have to be. Thomas says, we're here for you, Bishop Long. Gilbert runs an animal rescue, and we got you when you're ready and the time is right. Saint Kylie. Yeah, and if I, and a small dog, I would prefer a smaller dog. Because I prefer a smaller dog. So if I ever got one again, it would be one that was neglected, so that I could show that dog, that little fur baby, what life is supposed to be like. Because let me tell you something, that dog would have a better life than most human beings. Kylie had a better life than I did, because there were many times that I was sick and needed to go to the hospital, but the deductibles were so high, and all the other payments and co-payments here. And I said, well, I can't, there's no way. Either I've got to take Kylie to the vet, or I've got to go to the doctors and get something taken care of. Kylie came first. She always came first. So, but that's just because she depended on me. I mean, I take that responsibility very seriously. Very, very seriously, because when she looked at me, when she was feeling sick, the moment she just had that look, there was no hesitation. I didn't care what bill was due. I didn't care if she was feeling bad, she went to the vet. So, but that's what you do. That's what you do.
I'll never forget that one day you called me and you said, "Woman, I don't know what's going on. Kylie, she got her paw over her eyes." I said, "She's playing peekaboo."
Yeah.
I taught her to play peekaboo and hide and go seek.
She did.
Because she would go hide, and James like, "Wilma, I holler," and she didn't come out. That's what she's playing hide and go seek. She would bark and bark and bark at me, and then she got that little growl. Nothing, that's just her. She's mad at me. She wouldn't ever bite, but she had that little growl, and I loved it because she was good companion to me.
Yes, she was.
Like company. But like you say, people's asking me also if I ever wanted to get a pet. Well, if I got one, I would get the one that would help me. They say they do everything for you. If you want some refrigerator or whatever. And they put a button on your wall, and if you fall or something, that dog pushes that button. But my biggest concern is like if that little thing got sick, I couldn't afford to take it to the vet, and I couldn't even afford the dog food. I mean, this commercial drives me crazy when I see it on TV. Adopt a pet, adopt a pet. Okay, they need to lower. I mean, I know that's their job, making dog food and the vets. I get that, but they had to stop too and think, hey, wait a minute. That's why a lot of people's getting rid of animals, because they can't afford the food. Yep. They can't afford the doctor bill or hospital bill. And then I had a cat one time and had a little bald spot on its head. $68 just to come in. And she said, well, we probably had to do an x-ray. I didn't have $68. And I'm like, this is one reason why it burns me up about that commercial, because, there's a lot of people out there that would want animals, but they can't afford it. It's crazy.
It is, and you're exactly right. I mean, you are absolutely 100% right, because it is expensive. Because Kylie, she was prone to pancreatitis, and so I had to have her on the Royal Canine gastrointestinal low-fat food, and even the can, just one can, was $3.50 for one can, and so I had to get that food and the dry food as well. So, and her medicine. So you're right. It is very, very, it is, and they really do. They need to help with, because honest to God, you could have a savings. You could have let's say you have $1,000 or $2,000 in savings for just, in case, God forbid, something happens. And you can go to the vet and that will go, it's gone like that. I mean, that $1,000 or $2,000 you had saved up, and you really, really saved up, is gone in a heartbeat. Or, if you pay off all your credit cards and you have no balance on your credit card and you take your dog to the vet because they're really sick, well, all of a sudden, now, everything that you paid off, it's right back on that credit card that's why it's kind of frustrating, sometimes. Now, there are pet insurance that people can buy. And so I would absolutely have to find pet insurance and a vet that would pay, that would take that insurance. So I'm going to have to do some research if I were to ever be open again to, and I am, to having another fur baby, but it can't happen now. There's no way, because there's just so many health issues that I'm dealing with. And I'll be talking about that eventually. So, because I want to open up and talk about my experience in life so that other people can know that they're not alone. So we'll talk about certain things because I've done a lot of television and things like that. And so that's kind of made me in the paranormal community somewhat of a a public person, and I accept that responsibility. And so for me, I need to, if there's something that I like, for example, the weight loss, the gastric sleeve surgery. I talked about the gastric sleeve surgery and the experiences that I had and the pain that I had and what went through it, and even now. So I because not that I have to, but I do it because people, might be going through it themselves. And you're right, Diane, the vet charges are out of this world. She just spent over $500, and if the problem is still not resolved. But there is pet insurance out there. And so the key is to find legitimate pet insurance and to find vets that will take it. That's the key. Listen to this, make this little transition here. Listen to this story. This is interesting. And Wilma, she has a lot to say about this topic. But mysterious radio signal from space is repeating every 16 days. Now, this is very interesting. Mysterious radio signals, and this is from CNN, mysterious radio signals from space have been known to repeat. But for the first time ever, researchers have noticed a pattern in a series of bursts coming from a single source 500 million, with a B, light years away from Earth. Now, fast radio bursts, or FRBs, are millisecond long bursts of radio waves in space. Individual radio bursts emit once and don't repeat. That's what normally happens. But repeating fast radio bursts are known to send out short, energetic radio wave multiple times, and usually when they repeat, it's sporadic, in a cluster, and it's coming from some form of intelligent design. So between September of 2018 and October 2019, researchers of the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment detected a pattern in bursts occurring every 16 days. And over the course of 4 days, the signal would release a burst or two each hour. Then it would go silent for another 12 days. That is very interesting. It's what in the world is going, what is that? Wilma, what do you think about that?
I think they need to leave well enough alone. I mean, okay, you got me started. I wish you hadn't, but you did. Okay. It was fun and all. Oh, yeah, first man on the moon, blah, blah, blah. We get it. Then they send another one and another one and another one. Okay, that's fine. But now they're running it into the ground. Take that money. Stop worrying about space and take that money. There's children in the hospital right now that some can't even afford surgeries, and that little babies that we got to tell what's going on with them, or adults or anything. There's homeless people out there that really needs it. Leave space alone. It's fine once you did the moon and everything. We get that. But they're tell what they're bringing back to us. I mean, I know they examine them and, whatever. But they need to leave space alone and concentrate on down here that we need that money. To me, it's just like holding up $1 million bill and striking a match to it. That's exactly how I feel about it. I mean, I don't have anything against space. I mean, I love space and all. But we don't live up there. We live here. And I get it that they're like, well, they send this up there, they send that. Well, they got this thing up there to tell you about the weather. Oh, my stars, they don't know the weather. I mean, they don't even know what's going to happen that night. My sister and I, we went to get some groceries, and she's like, oh, it won't start sleeting to the night. Okay, we're shopping, and we look outside, and it's sleeting. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, really, seriously? You couldn't get it right just in one day? I'm like, knock it off with the space stuff. I mean, it was fascinating at first. I did. Got the book. I was like, oh, my stars, the man on the moon and all that. But now it's just too much. I mean, some of it might be good that it's helping us, but there's things floating around up there. Sometimes they're going to fall. Well, be my luck, I can go out the door and one will probably hit me on top of the head, the way my luck is. But the point is, stop doing all that for right now. Give the money to who needs it.
Oh,
Come on.
you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Not very happy.
You know, it's interesting. You were talking about the weather. It's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. This Friday, the high is going to be 32 degrees. But then on the Tuesday, February the 18th, February 18th and February 17th, it's going to be close to 60 degrees here. 60 degrees in the middle. Well, it's in the middle of February. That's the problem. When does that happen?
Don't know the weather.
Now, Wilma, you have to admit, okay, 60 degrees in the middle of February. Now that's not right. And Wilma has lived
It's like 3 or 4 years ago, February 28th. It was warm. It's in the 70s. I'll never forget it. That tornado came and destroyed my brother's house. Thank God him and his wife was okay.
Yeah.
But my brother's house was totaled. Now, this is February the 28th. And I'm like, really, seriously? We should be having snow or cold weather, not tornadoes. It don't matter anymore. And me, I'm not scared of storms. I'm terrified of storms. Because I've seen 3 tornadoes in my life. And one was going across the field from my house. And ever since I saw that thing, it terrifies me now. I mean, I just don't trust them. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's just going to be a thunderstorm. Well, that's what they're saying. But they don't know. I don't trust them. I really don't.
Yeah, something's not right about it. It really isn't. I mean,
no.
And Deborah even just said that it snowed there yesterday. Today it's 40 degrees, snow tomorrow, and then 50 degrees, and that for this weekend, and that's in Chicago. When I was in Chicago studying in the seminary, February was cold. That was cold. It was hurt cold. I mean, like, oh my gosh, this hurts. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you something that's been changed through my life is summer. When I get up at morning, see, it was nice when I was younger. It was like, okay, it's nice. In the afternoon, it would get hot, but later that night, it would cool down. Well, then it kept lingering on. Well, later on, it was comfortable in the morning. In the afternoon, it would get hot, but by nighttime, it'd be still hot. And I noticed something. Like when you get up at mornings, it's like a couple hours. The rest of the day is really hot. We used to have it like, when the sun go down, it felt good because it's cooling down. Don't do that no more. I noticed a big change in the summertime.
Yeah, everything's just very weird. By the way, and this is talking about newsworthy information. This is interesting, and I'd like to see what your point of view, everyone's point of view on this is. Polygamists may not face jail time under Utah bill. So polygamists have lived in Utah since before it became a state. And 85 years of plural marriage was declared a felony. They still number in the thousands and have been featured in the long-running television show Sister Wives. Now a state lawmaker says it's time to remove the threat of jail time for otherwise law-abiding polygamists. The law is a failure, quote. It hasn't stopped polygamy at all, and it's actually enabled abuse to occur and remain unchecked, said Senator Deidre Henderson, a Republican. Her proposal to make bigamy an infraction rather than a felony has gathered significant support. It was unanimously approved by a legislative panel Monday, despite resistance from former members of polygamous groups who said it could embolden abuser. Now, the estimated 30,000 people living in Utah's polygamous communities believe plural marriage brings exaltation in heaven, a legacy of the early Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The polygamist may not face jail time under the new Utah bill, abandoned the practice in 1890 under pressure from U.S. government and now strictly forbids it. Unlike other states, Utah outlaws living with a second spiritual spouse, even if the man is legally married to just one woman. So here we are. The question is, should people who have multiple wives, that's what polygamy is, or multiple husbands in that matter, should that be legal? Should it be legal? Should people be allowed, Miss Wilma, to have more than one? Why not? What's up?
When you truly fall in love with that one person,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't want to even think about another man or another woman. It's like, like 25 years anniversary or 50 years anniversary. You hardly see that anymore. But those are the 50 years. But no, if you get married, you truly love that one the rest of your life. You become one. And it's crazy to want to even think about, I met another woman, I'm going to marry her, you wait here. No, I'm not going to wait here. You go off and marry another woman or two or three. It is not right. So is Utah, the whole Utah, are they all agreeing with this?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, that the bill right now, it has not passed, but the bill is being introduced in legislation stating that they will no longer make it a felony, meaning that you will no longer go to jail, to prison. Actually, it's just more of a misdemeanor crime. So that is the bill that the senator from Utah is introducing to the legislation branch there in Utah. She basically wants to make it legal, or not so much illegal. She wants to make it to where you don't have to worry about going to prison. So if you're a man and you have more than one wife, you don't have to worry about going to prison. So right now, it's illegal. So you can go to prison right now. You can go to jail right now. But she's saying, no, we got to change the law. If people want to have more than one wife, that's their business. We shouldn't throw them in prison. That's what she's saying.
Okay, I'm sorry, but all they got to do is sit at that fancy desk with the fancy suits on, their fancy $300 shoes.
Yeah.
They come up with these idiotic ideas and leave it alone. I mean, I know you're rich. You ain't got nothing else to do besides sit there, stop baking up things, grab a donut or a piece of cake, have a party or something. Stop thinking all these crazy things up.
Well,
burn, that's stupid.
Now, Father Thomas says, well, the state shouldn't regulate religious issues unless the state, has an interest, which in this state it does. It has to regulate civil divorce and custody issues. Therefore, it must be regulated by the state. Deborah says, not sure how I feel about it. I can't even consider another husband. Married 30 years, and I haven't killed him yet. Just kidding, she says.
Deborah, honey, don't want to kill him.
Diane said one husband is enough to deal with, and Father Thomas agrees. And then, of course, Diane says, I kind of think this lessens intimacy, but legally, I really think they should be allowed to have their marriages the way they want. So the question is this. If a man likes polygamy, and there are women who want that type of lifestyle, because the argument for many women is that they like the idea of living as a sister wife. In other words, that many of them live together in the same house. They help each other. They help cook. They help clean. They're like sister wives, and they like that type of community. And they like the idea of having one husband who is the head of the household. And so they argue that this is what they enjoy. This is what they prefer. And the question is, if there's a man out there who has 5 women who want to be his wife or wives, then should the state make it legal? And you say
no.
You say no, Wilma.
I do know one thing. He better not come knocking in my door. No, that will never, ever happen. When you fall in love, your heart it's broken. You got that true love in your heart. Why would you want to even think about cheating? If you love this person,
Well, it's not cheating. It's not cheating because
no, it's not cheating. But to me, it'd be like, okay, I'm in the living room watching TV. Oh, well, my husband's in there with these other 3 or 4 wives, Well, leave me out today, honey. That's okay. But no,
So,
just stay away from me, and that should not be, legal. No.
So you say no way. Well, but
Can you imagine
oh boy.
just watching the movie and your husband's in there with 3 or 4 other wives? I mean, at least he could have asked me, if I want to join in, but I don't guess that would.
God.
But if you love somebody,
Oh, dear God.
want it to begin with.
Oh, wow. Well, all right. So I'm, you know what?
Oh, you're right.
You're right.
And when you're right, you're right.
You're right.
And you're always right.
You're right. And so I can't really argue about that, Miss Wilma, but hey, to each their own. Okay. And so they, and Diane said she agrees with you. She wants the whole cake. She doesn't want to share the cake with people. So.
There you go, sweetheart. Can you imagine me and you sitting in our house and while our husbands are in there? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Not today.
My goodness. My. Well, I want to remind everybody, we'll be closing out the show here momentarily. Just remember, we're here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Miss Wilma jumps on with us when she's able to. So she's always welcome here as a special guest here because we just love having Miss Wilma on. And now Fridays, I want to remind everybody that Fridays are Paranormal Friday. It's strictly paranormal. And this Friday, we're going to be talking to Willie Windwalker Gibson. He's a good buddy of mine. I've known Willie for many, many years. He's a shaman and a psychic, and he's actually very, very respected within the paranormal community, and he has a lot of experience, a lot of interesting things to talk about. So make sure you join us this Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, don't worry if you missed a show. Don't have a cow, man. Trademark. I got to make sure the Simpsons. Okay, got to make sure I say that. But don't have a cow because you can listen to it on podcasts. And we're on iHeartRadio, the app there, and then of course RadioLove.com airs this show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can hear it as well. So if you miss it and you just want to go RadioLove LUV.com, then you can listen to the show there as well. So that
Did you say don't have a cow?
Oh boy.
Did you say don't have a cow? Well, if they do get a cow, I sure hope it don't have to go to the bank.
I was okay. Yeah, I have to take. I have to take my anxiety medicine, everybody. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And remember, we'll be here right here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. And again, I want to thank you so much for your support. Make sure you share this podcast with all your friends and family. Again, you can go to Spreaker.com/Bishop James Long, all one word, and you can tell all your friends about it. And hopefully, Miss Wilmer, if you're feeling good, you'll be joining us tomorrow.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I hope you do. My friends, remember, people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hope everyone has a great night. God bless.
The Sacred Division is proudly sponsored by the United States Old Catholic Church, an all-inclusive Catholic sacramental faith community. For more information, check us out on the web at www.usocc.org. the United States Old Catholic Church, focusing on diversity.